In this video, we're going to bring to you why it's important to support your partner in a relationship, and not only just talk about it, we are going to show you examples for the last 5 years of our relationship. We are where we are today because of supporting each other. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to our channel. Before we get into this video, make sure to like and subscribe and share. And for newcomers, welcome. Stay tuned to the end of this video because you're gonna see our whole journey.
Yes, so in 2015, Rhea and I met when I was in college. I was a junior in college and she was a young actress in New York City that had a part-time job trying to make her dream come true. Now, we both were chasing dreams at the moment, right? And I think it was very hard at the moment when I was 20, going on 21. You were 19 years old when we first met each other. And the first thing I saw that made me so attractive to you was that you were right to it with supporting me. So we were at dinner, our first time going to dinner, and I told her, listen, I'm broke. I can't do this dinner thing all the time. And the first thing she said to me was, well, that's why I have a job. So right there, guys, we know, and right there for me, I knew how important it was to have someone to support me. From 2015 to 2016, I was in college. Rhea came down from New York City to Delaware to support me. She came down. She always made sure my room was clean. She financially supported us at the time with her part-time job. And she also supported me with just a bunch of love with me being away for college. Now, at the same time, I had to support you, right? Because you came down with self-tapes that you had to do.
Yeah, so when Nate and I met, I was kind of really getting more into TV and film, and I just had an agent at the time, so I was getting a lot of auditions. So a lot of my time outside of work was spent memorizing scripts, self-taping, and auditioning. So every time I went down to Delaware, and if you guys are new to this channel, I'm gonna link the description below on how we first met, so you guys can see like how that whole story time happened, how we got introduced and everything, which is a really cute video. But I would take this 3-hour bus ride to Delaware, and as soon as we landed, it was either get the camera out, self-tape, audition, and all these amazing things. So he would help me, even though he had school all day and football, he would help me at the end of the day with my self-tapes. So he would support me in that way, and no matter how many takes I did, he was like, yo, if you don't like it, we're just gonna keep doing it. And it would go on for almost like 2-3 hours, as some of you actors know, like love and hate with self-tapes, because you look at your work and you're like, okay, I can do better, I can do better. But he was really good with not getting frustrated, and also just like letting me know like that was a great take, trust me, believe in yourself, this is the one.
Yeah, and like I said, when we were down there, I was a college kid. I was in football and in school all day. I came back and my room was like brand new. Now, listen, I was not used to that. I was used to take my sneakers, throwing it places, and dishes in the sink. And she came down and
his room was a college kid's room. Like, you know those commercials you see of like kids in college? Yeah, no, that was it. Even in movies, that was his room. Like, it was just like forks everywhere, food everywhere. Like, I mean, it wasn't that bad. I'm probably making it sound worse, but it was just like it was more clothes than anything. And like most of his books was like kind of like on the bed, on different parts of the shelf. So every time he would leave in the morning for class, I would wake up, I would wash his clothes, fold it, make his closet look really nice, organize his sneakers, his books, everything. Like, it would just be like a complete room transformation. And honestly, it was like pleasurable for me because like I have OCD and I love to see things like needy and tidy. So like I Marie Kondo his whole like room all the time. So I would help him with that, and that way it was less stress on him when he had to find like clothes to wear. Everything was clean, everything was organized.
Oh my God, you changed my life. I never had that in my life. So then when we were doing that, you had to keep in mind, she will also come down after having a week of work at Equinox at the moment. She would have auditions, and then she'll take a 3-hour bus drive down to support me with my football games. She came to all my football games that were home football games.
All his like literally all his football games. I don't think I've missed one.
No, you didn't, because you're the best. And then while she was doing that, we come to find out where she was having auditions interrupt her schedule with work. And I said, listen, I'm making some money cutting hair. I started to cut hair to make money for us.
Oh my gosh, wait, before we get into that part, I also do remember while working at Equinox, and I don't work there anymore, so I can say this now, but I would literally be on the computer helping Nate with like some of his homework.
Yes.
Like I would be typing up certain essays for him while checking customers in. But like, not to brag, but I was like the pop and front desk girl. Like I would multitask so much. Like you never knew I was making, like I was helping him write essays, find certain words so he could continue writing his essays. Like it was just like we supported each other in any little way we can. Like we would find certain times and like, hey, I can squeeze this in if you can't do it, and vice versa. So we definitely helped each other. But going back to his part.
Okay, so then I start to cut hair in school so I can make a little money in my pocket. And when I start to see a good amount of money, I start to tell her, hey, maybe you can quit your part-time job and I can support you financially so you can make your dreams of acting come true. And you don't have to get in the headache of trying to find someone to cover for you, because that was an issue, right?
It was. I remember, like, from when I was really starting to get into, like, the TV, you would get, like, these huge auditions, and it would be, like, memorize 5 pages the night before. Meanwhile, I'm, like, at work, and I'm like, okay, if I was home, I could memorize this and kill it the very next day. So I would always write to Nate, and we had Google Text. So I would be on the computer texting you like, oh my God, I just got an audition. It's for so-and-so and it's big, but I'm at work. I don't get out till like 8, 9 p.m. I'm not going to have time to memorize this. So like at work, I would try to memorize as much as I can. But then in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, I have to find someone to cover my shift for tomorrow or cover for whenever the audition was. So it was just a lot of stuff happening that almost like sidetracked me from the main goal, which was memorizing my script and killing it at the audition. So when he told me that, you know, I can quit my job, it was almost like a relief, but it was also like, dang, I don't know if I really want to do that, because then everything is going to rely on him. Like, I'm just not going to have any more income.
She was very independent.
Yeah,
so
I was just very independent, and like I knew I can count on my dad and my mom for certain things, but I didn't always like to do that. And once I got my own paycheck, I was like, okay, this feels good. I can spend my money on whatever I want. So when he like gave me the opportunity to like, you know, quit my job, it took almost like a while, like maybe like a day or two. Not a while. It literally took like a day or two, and I was like, I'm gonna give my 2 weeks notice. And we sat down, we had a conversation about it, and I felt comfortable enough to quit my job because I already saw from before that he supported me in my career, and I knew that he truly believed in me.
Yeah, and I remember, so what we'll do is we'll try to, if it wasn't football season, we would try to take turns on going back and forth from New York to Delaware. And I went up to New York and I picked you up from Equinox. I remember that conversation of like me convincing you to quit your job. She used to cry going into her job.
I did.
You know, and it used to kill me. I'm like, nah, man, we're not doing that. So I remember one day we were on our way to bring you to get you had a 4-hour shift. I was going to take her to Greenwich in New York City, the Equinox there, and then I would just go hang out in Jersey City and come back. And on the way there, you were crying and you were like, break it down. I was like, you know what, just don't even go in.
Yeah.
You know, don't go.
Bad influence.
I said, just don't go. Like, if it makes you feel this bad. But I think you called your dad, and your dad told you just to finish. I believe you finished.
I did go in for, like, that 4-hour shift, but I do remember, like, I was counting down every second. Like, I was like, just 3 more hours, just 2 more hours, just 5 more minutes, just 1 more second.
Yeah.
Like, it was literally, like, because I knew, like, I couldn't do that anymore because I was so unhappy every time I walked into that place. And it wasn't so much of, like, the members or the people around me. It's just that it was taking away time from my passion, which was acting. So I was like, I'm giving all my time to this job that I don't see myself leveling up. I don't see myself wanting to become a personal trainer or a manager for the front desk. I see my dreams bigger than that, and so it was just killing me inside. It's so crazy because I feel like our life has been like
crazy.
So like we would have to write like a book about it because it's just been so crazy.
We will. And I believe the reason why we were so motivated to continue to make these videos is because one day we knew the importance of, like, if we make our dreams come true, how important the videos before that dream coming true would be of value to those that are on that same journey as us. Rather than us just telling these stories, you can stop this YouTube video and go through all our videos and watch all of this happen from 3-4 years ago. After that, you came down to school. You'll come down to spend more time with me now. So she didn't have to go back during a week. So she'll stay down like 3-4 days and then go back in 3 to 4 days.
I think it's kind of crazy because, like, I don't think I was supposed to be staying at his school as long as I was. I was practically a student there without going to class. Like,
yeah, she was.
Oh my gosh, okay, I know, not to get sidetracked, but I remember one time he left for class and it was like, I don't know, like 11 a.m. The alarm went off and I just happened to get out the shower, like the school alarm, and everybody had to evacuate. And they would knock, like, on your door to make sure you evacuate it. And they were knocking, and I swear I was, like, in the corner in a towel, like, oh my God, don't come in. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't be here. But I mean, I still went regardless, but that was like one of the moments where I was like so terrified. I'm like,
Everybody
I'm gonna
knew
get caught.
you were there.
He's gonna get like expelled from school. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. But yeah, I did spend a lot more time down at his school, and that's when you guys started seeing a lot of our vlogs come together.
A lot of YouTube videos we made during that time. And that was also the time where I had a career-ending injury to my spine, and I went from being a Division I football scholarship, player to someone who had to find themselves. And I went through a very bad depression, and she was there to support me during that time.
So I quit my job. He was there to support me. I started spending a lot more time at his school, and then we were doing a lot of YouTube videos, and we were having the best time making them. Like,
best time.
When we went back to New York, we would still make the YouTube videos. You guys can see all those vlogs that are, like, below all these videos.
The big purple bus. I remember a title, The Carnival Across the Street.
That was fun.
What she says versus what she really wants to say. We made those skit videos. And we were young. We were 19, 20 years old.
But then when he made, when his injury happened for his back, it was
that
kind
video was called
like,
The Biggest Secret. We dropped that. And when it first happened, I didn't want to tell nobody. I didn't want to tell nobody. It took us like 3 months.
It was really scary. It was like I had to go down to his school with his brother. That he drove us down, and we met with Nate in his dorm, and he literally couldn't walk. Like his back was in just so much pain. But like one thing about him, he's like so mentally strong that like he would just get up and walk, but you knew that it was like a 10 out of 10 pain, if not like 12 out of 10 pain. Like it was just so crazy. It was really bad.
I had 3 discs from my spine push into my spinal cord, and one almost went right through and made me paralyzed. I had a teammate run right into my spine with his helmet on the football field. It was a tough injury.
It was tough. So I knew that it was my time to step up and support him and see what I could do to help him, focus on what he needed to do, and I could do all the exterior stuff. So it's crazy because he was still helping me with self-tapes. It was just like we were just being so supportive of each other as much as we could, because we knew that it would get better, and we knew where we wanted to take this relationship, and we also knew what we wanted out of life. So we just kept supporting each other no matter what.
Yeah, and the thing about the whole situation that we were going through is we were, when we say make money, guys, we're talking about like $60. I made, like, sometimes a big payday for me was cutting hair Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll come out with $250 to $300.
Oh my God. And that was like
we were rich with that.
Many hours of haircut.
Yeah, I was standing all day, and then after I injured my spine, it didn't make it any easy.
No.
But then I had 3 months to graduate, and I had a lot of pressure on me to graduate, and she helped me. She was on top of everything with me, and I gained. Went up to 300 pounds, and through depression, I went from 240 to 300 pounds. I was depressed. You can see it in the videos. All my old videos, you can see I'm 100 pounds heavier than I am now. And she would help me when I decided to start going on a nutrition diet and getting into shape and trying to move. She'll give me back massages to help my back. She'll help me cook my food, and she'll help me make sure I'm ready for school. Then when I graduated college, I think
this was like another like turning point in our relationship, where it's like, obviously quitting my job was one turning point. Him hurting his back was another turning point. And then once he graduated, it was a turning point as in where he was gonna live. Like he really didn't know where he was gonna stay. And thankfully I have parents who are just like very supportive of my career too, and my brother's careers. So when I, expressed to my dad, like, okay, my boyfriend, I really do love him. This is his situation back at home. He doesn't feel comfortable going back. And so whatever, I just explained it to my dad, and he was like, you know what, he can stay here with you. And so when he told me that, I was like, oh my God, okay.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
My God. It was like a freaking dream come true.
It was.
Because, that's why it's important to support your partner and do it, through just being genuine, because the people around you that love you see if the person that you're with is supporting you or not. And I think her father saw how much we believed in this dream of ours, that he was there and said, like, who knows a man that will allow their boyfriend and their daughter's boyfriend to move in when their daughter's 20 years old?
Yeah, I just like turned 20 too.
20.
Right?
You was 20 years old, because we celebrated your 21st birthday. We have a vlog of that, I think, we celebrated your 21st birthday
We
when
are
we
cousins,
lived with you. Yeah, with Desiree, and we lived in
Yeah.
on Sickle Street.
in Sickles, so
Now, her apartment, her father like reconstructed her whole apartment.
Yeah.
Her father always makes sure it's like super clean, and they always make sure they have food. I didn't grow up in those living conditions. I grew up more of hotels, or I was in one apartment for a little bit, in another apartment. I had a lot of addictions growing up
Yeah.
in my family.
also it's like he never like when I grew up, it was kind of like we opened the cabinets and there was a bunch of options versus like when
Nah,
you
it
would go
wasn't- it
home,
wasn't like
you would
that.
have like we would
Yeah.
just have so many options of like
I thought it was heaven.
cereal. Yeah, and I mean we weren't eating the healthiest, but we did have home cooked meals for my grandmother when she came. Sometimes my father would cook, and then when Nate actually came down, him seeing that, it was almost like a culture shock.
It was a
in
culture
way.
shock. I
Yeah.
thought I was literally hanging out with like rich people, but like, and it was like I was hanging out in Walmart, and I could
Mhm.
just sleep in Walmart and wake up and eat whatever I wanted to.
That's a great.
And they had a laundry
We
and,
had a
and
wash
dryer.
and dryer.
They
like,
had
in our
I didn't
apartment.
have that, so I was sleeping on clean covers every night. I clean clothes, refolds my clothes, and puts it up in a closet
I
a
also
certain
worked
way.
retail, so my folding skills are like A1. Okay.
Yeah, well, so what happened after that is, so I moved in, and when I moved in, I felt a little embarrassed because I was supposed to be this kid that probably went to the NFL, played professional football, and I felt like I let the whole world down, but my heart really wanted to do this, be behind cameras, motivate people, inspire people, and I fell in love with this, and I remember when I moved in, the first day I came, you made space for me in your drawers.
Oh my God.
And
yeah.
you made space for me in your closet. And Rhea had this room since she was a kid,
Yeah.
and she couldn't wait for me to come so she could share it with me.
well,
And that's a huge support for somebody.
No,
man.
wait. I didn't have this room since I was a kid. It was actually my grandmother's room for a very long time. I got my first room because I slept on a bed with my brothers and my father till I was about like 14, I would
Oh,
say.
wow.
Yeah, and it was like a king size bed though. It was like really big. My dad like saved up to buy this bed. But I slept there with them for as long as I can remember, and then my grandmother finally moved out, and she went out to Pennsylvania, and so her room became my room. So I was so excited to have a room like that I can call my own, make it pretty. Like the colors of my room, I don't even think he knows because this is before I met him. But the colors of my room was pink and green. Like I made my dad paint it pink and green, like super girly. Super girly. And then I got a little older and I was like, okay, this is a little too girly for me. Let's keep it neutral. Let's do all white. So then my dad had to repaint the room all white. After it was white though. So it was white. I made it pink and green and then it went back to white. But I was really excited to have this room, and I was like, so when he came, it was weird because I thought I was going to be like not wanting to share my space because I guess I've been waiting for a room for so long. But I had so much love for him that I was even more excited to create space for him. Like, I rearranged my room so that when he came, he had space for his sneakers, for his underwears. It was like an underwear drawer.
Everything.
A
Oh my
sock
God, I never had
drawer.
that. I never
This
had
is,
none
like,
of this.
your t-shirts for when you want to go out. This is
My
your
sneakers
drawer
in the closet
Yeah,
a
it
certain
was like
way.
in the because I had shelves in the
My
closet.
side of the bed, I had my own dresser on the side of the bed with my
Yeah.
books.
I had like two little nightstands. His side had his things, my side had my things. But it felt good being able to provide that, and it felt good that my father was okay with allowing that. And also, my father did help a lot. Before he came down, he helped me set up the room for Nate. So it was almost like when Nate came into like his life in the apartment, he was like a son to him.
Son, yeah.
When we went to BJ's or Costco, he would always ask, "What does Nate need?" And
Always.
and also my father was also very supportive of your
Always.
diet. So that's another
Everything.
support that came in, like making sure
Everything.
that you support your partner, like you said, so that your parents can see that and they also want to help and support you guys as a couple in a relationship.
Yeah, her father supported me. Like, I felt like a son on Christmas. You know, I was getting gifts. Like, he'll get everybody a jacket. Like, her brother's a jacket, like a fresh Calvin Klein jacket, and get me the same jacket in a different color.
Mhm.
Like, nobody ever got a gift bigger than mine. Like, if
Mhm.
one person got a watch, if one of his sons got a watch, I got a watch too.
Mhm.
And her mom did the same thing when we went to go visit her, you know. So, but it came from the love and support that we had for each other. When I moved into the apartment, then it got to the point where Ree was supporting me and her father was supporting me.
Mhm.
more than I can do for them because I was trying to get on my feet. I was trying to get in shape. So her father supported me with, buying me the correct food for dieting. She was cooking it. Our father I used to use her father. I couldn't even afford a $10 membership at a gym. That's how bad it was.
Yep,
And
at the
we
Planet
went to
Fitness. There was a Planet
on
Fitness right
Dykeman.
on Dykeman, and he would use my dad's membership.
I would use a dad's membership.
Crazy.
I walk into the gym and they caught me a couple times, knowing that I wasn't Ricardo
Yeah.
Velasquez. But
Because my dad, and you know what? It's like my dad sold him out almost. Not really sold him out, but like my dad is so friendly that he'll talk to everybody. Like he can't just scan and keep it going. Like he'll talk to the front desk
Yeah.
people. He'll make friends. So people get to know the face attached to the name. So when he went in, they were like, "Wait, you ain't Ricardo," and it's like, ugh.
yeah,
I
her dad
do
is awesome,
remember,
man. But so I was starting to lose weight, and from all that love and support, I was able to focus on myself, and I was able to get through my depression. And then I started to get on these YouTube videos, and we started to make fitness videos. From making the fitness videos, I was making fitness classes for people, and then I started to build a little clientele. From building that little clientele, I had a couple of gyms that wanted me to come work with them. I wanted to do an internship at a small gym from a guy who really knew his stuff, and from the business side as well. And I want to learn from that rather than just making money. And while doing that, I was working for somebody for free just to learn from them, and still was getting the support from her and her father. And then from there, I was able to.
This is in a span of almost like 2 years, like.
Well, this is from
2016 to like
end of 2016. I graduated college.
Yeah.
So when the whole college thing went on, it was from 2016. I say the summer the spring of 2016. You're right.
Yeah.
So the spring from 2016 to the fall of to the spring of 2017 is when that's the span of me making that transition because I graduated college at the end of 2016. So from December 2016 to the spring, around April of 2017, I lost about 60 to 70 pounds. I got some credentials to be one of the for a high training certification. And I also got my college strength and conditioning degree, which cost $350,000, which I worked my butt off for. And I was able to get some opportunities from making free videos and giving free sessions and helping people for free. And then after my internship, I came across a job opportunity to be basically to run a gym facility, and it was for a big amount of money. And but I had to work my way up to it, and I needed 8 years of experience. Went to do the interview with the guy, and he saw my name on Google pop up a lot when he researched me, and he saw these videos, and he saw that I had a good support partner, someone who's going to help me. And I told him I'll help build a business, and she's going to come help me with my ideas. Now, I'm 23, going on 24 at the time. She was about 21, and I'm going to a gym in, just to be honest with you, in the neighborhood of Westchester, where people don't look like us, and I'm about to go run a business. And she supported my dreams, and it was hard at first, but I got my first paycheck, and I was like, wow, I'm making some money now, like, yo, we're making money. I never saw a paycheck like this. This is my first paycheck ever.
He's like, what do you want? I'll buy you anything. And I'm like, stop. But like, that was like our relationship. Like when I had like those acting checks from coming in from acting, I would always ask him, what do you want? I can get you something now. That was just like what we did in our relationship. Like, it wasn't like, oh, that's my money, I'm not gonna like share it with him, or vice versa. It was like, once we got it, we're like, okay, you helped me get to this point, what can I do to help you even more? Now I got the money to help you. So and in between that time, I remember I went in for Law and Order, and we went to like a water park, and he was checking my emails more than I was. And I got on this one ride where I was like, it was definitely like 40 stories high. Like, it was like a ride where you like go like that and it takes you all the way down, and he didn't want to get on it. So like, I'm at the top, and all you hear him is like, you booked it. And I'm like, what?
I remember.
And he's like, you booked it. And I'm just like, what is he saying?
Wow.
But when I remember when I went all the way down, he was waiting at the end of the ride, and he was like, oh my God, you booked Law and Order. Your agent just emailed you. And it was just like, that was just like those little moments where we were like,
from that story, man.
You remember?
Yeah, man.
It was so crazy. And he was like yelling, and people were just staring at him.
They thought I was crazy.
Yeah, he's like, you booked Law and Order. I was like, and I couldn't hear him. Like, I literally couldn't hear him until I went down, and then he told me, and it was crazy because when I got that check, I was like, what do you want to do? And then when he got his first check, it was like, what do you want to do?
And when you were getting it, that's a good point because in between this story, she would get little checks, and and those little checks would come in at the perfect time to support us. We used to always say, "My money is your money too." You know, it's our money because we're not gonna waste time. We're not gonna date each other, get with each other, and then mess with people on the side. And we decided, like, look, you got a dream. Okay, I got a dream. Okay, let's buckle up. Let's do it with it. Let's pay the price to make this come true. You know what I'm saying? And if you stick around with the story, you see how this thing actually starts to open up and come true.
Yeah.
But so I get the job, and then the guy puts me on salary first until I get on commission, on 100% commission, and I was ready to be 100% of entrepreneur. 6 months in, I decided to go 100% entrepreneur. I saw that I was able to pull a lot of money in. And she would help. I was getting so busy at the gym that I couldn't do everything by myself. Like, I was having so many emails, so many people who wanted to work with me. I was running classes. I had to take payments for classes, give lectures after classes. And she would come into the gym, and people thought she worked at the gym. That's how much she was helping me.
You know that them Equinox front desk skills came into play because your girl was there like, "Hi, yeah, Susie, yeah, the class is $20, thank you," and I'll write their name down, and that, like, I wasn't getting paid for this, and it wasn't, like, I wasn't doing it to get paid at the end of the day, like, I was doing it, I felt like I was getting paid because when I saw him succeed, I was like, this is why I was doing it at the end,
Yeah.
So there would be, like, some fun to it, I'll be back there, and I'll be, like, setting up the whole thing, I'll clean the back of the desk, because I knew that whenever he came around that desk, everything was set up for him so it can be easier for him to succeed and achieve in his next goal or have less. He doesn't have to worry about a lot. So
that helped so much too. So right after that, we got to a point where we will just manifest trying to get our first apartment. And I was like, I don't know if I can get us a first apartment and be responsible for all the bills. And I was a little nervous, And then I just had faith. And one day I said, look, we're gonna move. I found an apartment for us. And it was in Westchester, New York, and we checked it out, and she was super excited.
Really quick, because I know this video could be really long, and we kind of jumped from topic, but before we even got the apartment, when he first got his job, like this job that he's talking about now, he told me to create like a vision board, remember?
Oh, yeah.
So when in between that time when I was helping him behind the desk, I created like a vision board of like what I wanted, and it was like an apartment, because he would get up, and something he didn't mention is that he would get up at like 3:30, 4 a.m. to make it to that job. You remember? Because he would have to take a train, a bus, and then another train. Or you would walk to the bus. And
so I would take a bus, a train,
so much.
And then I would have to walk 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It was like a 2-hour commute.
Right. So that was one of the reasons why we wanted to move a little closer to his job, because he was doing so well and he was leveling up so quickly that he was like, I have to get closer so that I can get more rest. And I was like, I totally agree. Like, so we created like a vision board, and we were like, okay, this is what we want. So we started looking for apartments, and honestly, like, seeing what my dad would spend and how he would sometimes struggle with like paying the rent himself, I was like, I don't know how we're gonna do it. Like, I really don't know. But he had a lot of faith. So that's when he came into play with his mindset.
I remember the breaking point I had is when we were doing an audition, and we couldn't do an audition because we were living in Washington Heights, Dykeman, and people was playing music, and then there was like ambulances going by, fire trucks, and then people yelling outside, and it would be right in the middle of like us doing a good audition, and then we'll go outside, and then you got mad dudes trying to holler at Ree, like mad disrespectful, and I get it, but like sometimes it's like it's a little too much. We were too focused on distractions where I thought it would be worth paying all my money out of my pocket for us to have some privacy and some time. I said it was like grad school for us. It was an investment. That apartment, it was so much of an investment in my mind that I can never be comfortable in it because I never wanted to feel like home.
I do remember that. I remember, like, I'm like, you're never like present in the apartment almost. And he's like, oh, because I have just so much like I want to get done, that it was almost like an office to him.
Yeah, it was. It was
like
just like
work
I just had a
outside
bed.
Of work. Yeah.
Yeah, just had a bed so I can sleep, but I did not like laying on the bed on my lunch break because I was 6 minutes away from my job. So if I came home and had 3-hour break, I won't get comfortable.
He would. Meanwhile,
I don't
want
want to get comfortable.
Napping and stuff.
But from there, so we were there, and that was 2017 to the late 2019. So we were there for 2 years. While doing that, the story gets very good.
There's so many things,
but we have all this stuff recorded too. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but
there's a lot of stuff that's recorded that we're also gonna like drop in between, our Sunday videos. It's like these little vlogs that we didn't get to drop, and also just us talking. But there's so many parts that we're skipping over on the story. But like around that time, I was booking little things here and there. I would get some residual checks. So, and it's funny because like the universe works in this weird way where it's like we would be so tight with money, and then a residual check would come for like the remainder of whatever
yeah,
the
to
rent
help
had
with
to
that
be.
rent or help
Or
with
groceries.
yeah. She booked her first TV show as a series regular. We went out to Portland, and I think I paid my flight to get there, and she paid my flight to get back, supporting each other. But the story gets very interesting because there was a time where I went through all my dark times in 2016, 2017. We got to the point where Ree felt bad because I was working so much. I was trying my best to keep like food on the table and rent paid and things like that, and I was more busy, so I couldn't. Usually, I was able to hang out with her because I was only doing like 25 hours a week. Then I went into like 50 hours a week, and I was never home. And she started to get like, I'm not gonna say lonely, but she felt bad that I was working that much.
I felt there was like loneliness that came into play because he would be at work all the time. But then I'll sit back and be like, but the reason why he has to be at work is because this is what I would tell myself. The reason why he's at work is because he's trying to get as much money as he can to make sure the rent is paid. So it would put guilt on me. He never made me feel like this, but it would put guilt on myself because I'm like, if only I can book something so that he can like take less clients and then we can have more time with each other. Like that was like a constant record playing in my head where I'm like, I need to book something. I need to book something. And it would get to the point where like I would cry because I'm like, I don't know if like acting is going to be for me. Like I know it's going to be for me. But sometimes, there's that little doubt that likes to creep in, and it kind of tries to pull you down. And I remember him saying, like, it's all right, it's going to happen. Trust me, when the time is right, it'll be right. Like, you just got to prepare. You just got to stay focused, work every day, because when the opportunity comes.
You want to be ready.
Yeah, you want to be, what's that thing you
Opportunity meet preparation equals luck.
Yes. So he would always tell me that, and I'm like, don't tell me that. It's not what I want to hear. Like, what I want to hear is the next audition you're going to book,
Yeah.
But that would always happen to me where I'm like, I need to book something because I would feel so bad. So I would try to do what I can in the apartment. So I would cook, ask him what he wants for lunch. Yeah. Sometimes I would bring him lunch if I had the time to actually walk over there because he never really took a real lunch break. His lunch break was like 5 minutes between his clients, and that's only if his client showed up late.
Yeah.
Because he would never take a lunch because he was like,
I was on a grind. I was burning myself out.
He was burning himself out.
I was destroying myself. It created panic attacks and all different kind of things we'll get in the future in these videos. But it's not smart to overwork, man. We really wanted to she was not talking to nobody. She said, babe, I'm in the house. I'm not talking to nobody. You're gone all day and you get to talk to clients. I don't get to talk to nobody. So she thought it was a good idea to find a part-time job somewhere. And auditioning was going very slow at the moment.
Yeah.
So we had some connections. We got her to be at an all-women's gym at the front desk up the block from our house. She gets the job, and then that started to become an issue for two reasons. It started to become a... Go ahead.
No, I just want to say it was so crazy because, before I got the job, it was auditions were just so slow. Nothing was coming. And then the moment I got the job, it was like, okay, your first day of work, you also have an audition. And I'm just like, what the, why, what is happening?
Yeah.
So I guess, the universe was kind of trying to tell me, keep your eyes on the prize. Don't worry about it. Stay focused. Acting is for you. You just have to give it time. But I ended up working at the gym, and I was I felt good because, when I did get the paychecks, I put it towards, groceries, or I would surprise him with food, or it was just, it felt good to be able to get, a consistent paycheck. But what didn't feel good is I knew in the back of my head again that I was putting time into a place that I didn't want to be for in the long run. My passion was always going to be acting, and I would drop anything for acting. Yeah. So I would always, and I remember he dropped me off for my interview, and I didn't know this, but he's like, when I dropped you off for the interview for your job, my heart broke because I'm like, this is not where she, she's so much better than this. She has so much potential that, this isn't where she belongs.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yo, we need to make a movie out of this stuff. It's crazy.
I
wish,
nice,
if I can, make a movie and get an actor to do it, it would be a very good movie. It would be very inspirational to people. My goal with our relationship, I always told you, it's important that we stick to the dreams because it's going to help people after us. When I was dropping off to her job for an interview, I saw how much she didn't want to do it,
Mhm.
but then I saw how much she wanted to get out the house and put herself into, putting herself into some type of work, some type of
Mhm.
challenge. So I actually gave her an offer. I said, when you go in there, whatever dollar amount they offer you, I'll offer you more. Now, I was willing to pay her to help me at the gym.
Mhm.
So I was getting 50% of everything I did at a gym, a private gym. It wasn't like a big gym. It was a
Mhm.
private luxury gym in Westchester. I would get paid half of everything I did. I was willing to give her a percentage of my half to get her out the house to feel better and to help me at work. And
You did say
so
that.
she
You
can
remember?
feel better about like not being in the house, but also making some of her own money. And
Mhm.
I said, if they go in there and offer you $9, I'll offer you $10. Whatever they offer you, I'll offer you more. So just know you have another offer in your mind when you go in there.
They offered me $100 an hour, and he said, "Oh no, I'm not doing that." No, I'm just kidding.
They offer
No, hell no, I would have probably still been working there. No, but when they did that offer that he put on the table was like it wasn't uninteresting, but I also just wanted to make almost like my own set of friends because I wanted to relate to other girls and talk to
Yeah.
other people, and I also didn't want to be just always in his space, you know.
Yeah.
And there was also like a little part of me that was like, his clients will come in, and he has the best clients, and they never meant anything about this, but
Yeah.
they would always ask, "Oh, when's your next thing?" Or how's acting going, and how's this? And I almost didn't have like an answer to their question, and it would make me feel bad. And it wasn't like they were looking at me like, "Oh, she's never gonna do it," but it was just like that's how I kind of felt, and I wanted to separate myself from that. So I went into the gym, and I
Yeah.
made friends, and also it was a gym where it was all female. So when I worked out, I felt good. I didn't feel like people were just staring at me the whole time.
Yeah.
But it was good, and I enjoyed getting the paychecks and being able to surprise him with it. And I would take certain overtime jobs and just
Yeah.
just
But
support, just try to support. Like
we
that's
had
literally what it was.
we had some conflict with the scheduling for her auditions.
Once again,
So I
no
told her,
surprise.
you better quit your job. So
I know it wasn't
don't
like
put
he didn't
nobody
ask
around me
this
that doesn't
time.
like their job. I'll make them quit. Nah,
Yeah,
I'm playing you.
That's kind of true though. We
It
got a
is kinda-
couple stories to tell.
Well, if you're living a life of working for something or someone, and you can't, you say if you have work at 3 p.m. and when you wake up in the morning, you can't enjoy your day because you think about that job so much and it brings that much anxiety on you. I'd rather be homeless and happy than make a little bit of money and be miserable like that. So I used to always tell her that, don't do that. Don't do that. So she quit her job.
I quit my job, and then
Hold on, before you get into that. She quit a job, and then we had to find another way for her to have company. Okay? And we thought about it, and one day I said, how about if I get you a dog? Now,
he's actually taking a nap right next to me.
I was scared of dogs my whole life. I was allowed to have a dog in my life. But I thought about, if we're going to be on this journey together, we're never going to have children in our life. I mean, never have children, but no time soon.
Yeah.
We might as well have like a dog, and see what it's like. Besides getting a kid and a dog at the same time. And so I asked her if she wanted that. She said yeah. So on the way down to go get her the dog, out of nowhere, her agent calls her and lets her know she just booked her first feature film.
Mm-hmm.
So we get Milo, who's sleeping next to us now,
Well,
who's a year and a half.
Before that, that's when I think I cut him off a little while ago in the story where before it was the decision where he was like, no, you have to quit your job. It was because I booked a series recurring on the Birch.
The Birch first.
On the Birch first.
Yep.
And then I was like, okay, this is like, the reason why is because when I booked that, I told them I had to be gone for X amount of days. And they told me like, we really do support you in your career. We are so happy you actually booked something, but it's making it hard for us because now we have to put in double the work. And I felt like, I felt so bad because I'm like, no, that's so true. Like, I didn't want them to like overcompensate because of my career. So I said, you know what? I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to give him my 2 weeks. I hope you do find somebody to take my place. And, eventually they did, but they were being so supportive of my career that, they understood the situation. So when they told me to quit, it was just like,
yeah,
okay. Like, it was almost like we were on the same page. We didn't leave with no bad blood. So that was like really good.
Yeah.
So then, then that time came where I was like, okay, now I just did this nice like recurring character on the Verge for Facebook Watch. But now everything is like dead again. Like, what do I do from here?
Yeah.
You know, is there gonna be a season 2? Is there not? And then he was like, you know what? Let's get a dog. And I was like, and I was auditioning still within this process. And I was like, okay, let's get a dog. Yeah, I can go outside with the dog. I can play with the dog. I can do this with the dog.
We get the dog though.
No, the day like, we went to get the dog.
The day with the dog, she booked the movie, and then now, for one, I don't know how I can afford the dog. I was having problems to begin to support us in an apartment, but we got the dog, and now I have a full-time job. I started my first business, Dream Fit, which I'm full-time now, and which she's very supportive. And then I have a puppy I have to worry about. But then we get the dog, and I think it was the best decision we've ever had out of most decisions we made.
It wasn't
because
the easiest,
I'll come home,
but the best.
Yeah, I'll come home and like she was just hanging out with Milo. It was just her and Milo all day.
It was just
she'll see me photos
videos
when I was at work of Milo, and she was just very lovely.
It also, like, when we got Milo, it motivated me to get up and walk to his job because I'm like, Milo needs his steps in and he needs to go for a walk. So I would walk towards Nate's job, and then he would have this big park across the street, and we would like wave to him. You know, I would make Milo wave to him and stuff. It was really cute, but he was very supportive of my career, my choice, and he was like, you know what, you just booked this job, I'm gonna support you, and I'm gonna take care of the dog when you're gone. And I was gone for like so long. Like, I was gone almost all day, and it took almost like a month and a half to film the movie. So I was gone almost every day. It was crazy.
It's crazy.
But he definitely supported, and on his breaks he made breaks just for the dog. It wasn't even for himself. Like, he created a break just to take care of the dog.
Yeah,
So
I'll get a break, go home, feed Milo, walk Milo, go back to work. So I started taking Milo into work with me. So after getting Milo, everything started to, and she finished her show, things started to actually turn around for the good in her life, in our life. The gym was getting busier. While doing the gym, I started DreamFitLLC.com. DreamFit is where dreams and fitness come true. That is my business. It's my personal training, coaching business, where I do all my coaching with mentorship, life coaching, nutrition coaching, and physical coaching. And I started to, so I'll go into the city twice a week, and then I will work in Mamaroneck 5 times a week. So I worked every day, basically. And then I started to become really burnt out, and I started to become a little disconnected. I was ready for the next step of my life on not working for nobody anymore. And that was the next thing. And she was like, you should quit your job, you should quit your job. And I'm like, babe, if I quit my job, we can't pay rent. But after going through that, we go to Sundance here in Park City, Utah.
Well, because
after she did her movie.
After I did my movie, we were given the opportunity to go to Sundance. And I think, like, once we got a taste of that kind of stuff,
oh man,
we were like,
it was freedom. It was freedom. There's nothing better than freedom, financial freedom, just freedom in general. But hold on. But before that, what happened before that?
Okay, so the story takes a turn. This is what y'all all been waiting for. Right? So all these years of us being together and going through all these like hardships and supporting and uncertainty, but then faith, and then all these crazy things that's been happening to us, I go in, I wake up one day and I get an audition for the reboot of Saved by the Bell. The role is Daisy. Prior to getting this role, I remember I created a fake a mood board where it said deadline, Hasquita Velasquez cast as not blank, because I didn't know the character's name, but I said cast as lead in a new TV show, right? And I remember seeing that image in my head, and I remember writing it down and doing all this stuff. So when I got this audition, it almost didn't occur to me that it was like a correlation to like the mood board. But I remember him coming home from work. It was a long, long day for him. You guys have to understand, his days are always 4 a.m. Like, when he says he gets to sleep in, let me tell you, it's only till 6 a.m. Like, his sleeping in is not like our sleeping in. Like, my sleeping in could be like 1 p.m. almost. You know what I mean? Like, 10, 1 p.m. His is like 6 a.m. So he woke up 4 a.m. He trained all his clients. I texted him. I said, hey, I know that you're having a long day, but I got this audition, and it seemed like the character fits me. Like, I need to self-tape it, like, tonight, because I knew tomorrow we wouldn't have time. I literally crammed.
It was like 8:30 p.m.
It was like 8:30.
And my first client was at 5. My last client was at 7.
Yeah.
And I had probably like 13 clients that day.
Yeah.
On my feet all day.
And he told me, this is what he texted me back. He was like, all you got to do is memorize your lines, because once we get there, he said, set up the camera, set up whatever you need, because once I get there, we're just gonna crush it. Like, we're just gonna do it. And I'm like, okay. So there was like a little pressure in the back of my head. I'm like, hopefully I don't like take forever doing this self-tape. But something about the character and the writing, it just like related. Like, I related so well to it. So I was able to pick it up so much quicker than any other audition. And he came home, and that's exactly what we did. The camera was set up. Everything was set up. The food was already done, though. So I was, like, memorizing my lines while cooking. Because I'm like, as soon as we're done filming this thing, we're going to, like, take the day in and, like, eat and sit down and watch TV and play with Milo. So we did the self-tape. I did it in one day, literally in one day. We did the self-tape. I submitted it, and I let it go. I literally, I washed my hands from it, and I let it go. And I don't know, like...
Yeah, we're going to make a whole story time on that. And we'll have a video of... I've recorded some of the process of her booking the show, getting a phone call on the way. Yeah. Like, we got a nice little vlog together for you guys.
Time they want to do. But just having that support, because let's say if he came home that day and he didn't want to support me in that moment in time, we would have never got the self-tape done, or we would have got it done with, like, negative energy behind the camera. Exactly. Any little thing could have gone wrong. If I would have came
in with the wrong energy, it would have messed up everything.
It would have messed up everything. And he literally came, like... And Nate, he's like... He doesn't really like to read scripts. Because he's like,
I don't like to read.
He doesn't like to read, but, like, like, script-wise. Because for somebody who's not an actor, scripts can be very confusing. Like... The way the breakdown is and stuff, it could be very confusing to somebody who's not used to that. Although he's gotten used to it in the last couple years, it's still fairly new to him. So he would read it and he would try his best. Even like when they use like certain big words that I can't even pronounce, he's like, he'll go over, he'll be like, but he would try. Yeah, he would try so hard. So like I knew like that the support was there, you know? So I was able to do that self-tape with like such good energy. And he told me, like, after each take, he was like, did you like it? Did you like it? We could do it again. Like, even though he was so tired, he still offered that. So
I knew it was going to be it. When I read about Daisy, I said, no offense, Daisy is the person you could have been if you didn't want to be an actress. That's true. You know, and but, when you watch the show, you'll learn more about that.
Yeah, and also we're going to do a story time on that. But also, before we end this video, what I wanted to say was that in between that time of me auditioning and booking the show, because I was, like, sometimes I'm still, like, I can't believe I booked it in a way, because we've been working so hard for this that it's, like, it actually happened, and it was weird, and it kind of happened so quickly, but I booked the show, and then we were able to go to Sundance, and we had to move to LA, and... It
was just flew me out to Sundance.
Yeah, I flew him.
And flew me back. Round trip. She flew me out with her paycheck from Saved by the Bell.
That's right.
And I had Comfort Plus and everything. Like, that's what happens when you support your loved one for that long. I was out there like
they said,
a housewife. Like a rich housewife.
They said, champagne, sir? And he said, give me all that. Let me tell you something. We're going to do this, but when I got the check and when I was able to purchase those tickets and not feel so scared to like spend that, I felt so relieved, because I'm like, he's gonna have such a great plane ride. We're gonna have such a great time at Sundance, and
it was one of the best times of my life.
Yeah,
and it was so fast and
it happened so quick
in only 24 hours, because she had to come back and finish filming Saved by the Bell.
Yeah,
but it was the city was like, if you ever want to know what it was like to be in, where's that little town that the Grinch goes to?
Whoville.
No. If you ever want to know what Whoville looks like or feels like as a kid, I felt like Park City, Utah in the wintertime is that.
Yes, that's a great
I feel like it is that.
Okay, so the camera died, but it didn't die. The chip ran out of space because we've been talking for a while. But if you're here with us, then you really do see that it's so important to support your partner. And sometimes the reward may not come for another 2-3 years. So just keep that in mind, because sometimes you feel like nothing's going to happen, and then you wake up and you get the phone call and your life changes forever. And you always hear that saying where it's like, oh, it almost felt like it happened overnight. Because as soon as I booked that, we had to move to LA. So we were trying to look for an apartment in LA. Meanwhile, we still had our apartment in New York. He was still working. Two businesses, his business and his gym. Yeah. It was just like so many things were happening that but we were so ready for it at the
We had the
same
puppy.
time.
We had a puppy going on planes with us. So challenging having Milo go on a plane because we couldn't get him on the plane, so we had to put him in cargo. That was a headache within itself.
Yeah.
But the coronavirus hits. So when Ree first came here, I supported her. I took 2 weeks off work, came here, helped her move into the apartment, got the bed, got the kid. We set everything up for her to be able to live here. And then we thought she was only going to stay here from January to April. I went back into New York, met her in Utah. Like a month later, went back to New York, met her here for Valentine's Day, went back to New York, and then the coronavirus hit.
Because our initial plan was after April, after I got done filming the show, I was gonna be in a place where, you know, income was pretty stable and we were able to afford an apartment a lot bigger than what we
than our New York one.
Our studio apartment, I mean, you guys are gonna see we have a video of like moving into our studio apartment. You see how small it is. So we were planning on moving to Jersey. That was our initial plan. We were like, after April, we're gonna move to Jersey. We're gonna be closer to your family.
My family, yeah.
And
right across from the Hudson River.
From the Hudson, we
was gonna be on the Hudson River, right across from New York City.
It was like almost like all we had to do was probably like sign our name on a piece of paper, and it was done.
Like my cousin was my real estate agent. Her husband was the manager of the building. Like it was going to go down. And so our plan was when the show ends in April, she comes back over to New York. Mm-hmm. We'll keep this apartment here just in case she has to do any press release and things like that. And we'll get the apartment in Jersey City. Well, the coronavirus hits. I come out here for 2 weeks to quarantine because my gym had to shut down due to the coronavirus. And I end up having to switch and live here. Now, I wouldn't been able to have made that transition.
Another turning point in our relationship.
A big turning point. Now, I went through I'll say I just got through a depression again because of change in my life, because change in environment, change with my job, change with my body, change with a lot of different things that I went through in this last, from April of 2020 to right now. I think I'm back in action right now, to be honest with you. I'm feeling really good. But we have to go through those dark times. But while going through those dark times, she was here for me. But she's able to support us financially more. You know, we're both good financially, you know. We still go 50-50 with everything.
Yeah, we still go 50-50. I pay the rent in this apartment now, and he buys all of our groceries. And if you know anything about us, we can eat.
Yeah, we eat 100% organic food from Whole Foods, Erewhon's, Farms. Yeah, so it can be a little pricey.
It is pricey.
But she'll take care of the rent. I'll take care of all the groceries. I'll take care of anything with the dogs. Because we got another dog. If you haven't been watching our YouTube video, we had to support Milo. We had to support our dog and get him a dog.
You know, we're kind of like, what else can we add to our plate? How else can we like pull our hair out and go crazy? Sure, let's add another dog to our life. Like, I don't know what we were thinking.
Yeah, so
we got a dog during the pandemic. Like, nothing was ever secured in the pandemic. Like, I stopped filming. We had a couple episodes to film.
I lost clients.
He lost clients, but we were like, wow,
let's get a dog.
Let's get another dog. I don't have a job. You don't have a job. Let's just do it. Yeah.
We have faith.
Crazy.
But we added that, and then while going through this crazy transition, you know, I lost, you know, potential money. I lost. Thank God I had some type of business to go back on Dream Fit and my business and still be able to leverage a little bit. But I wasn't making as much as I was making before the pandemic, just like any other entrepreneur for the most part. And she was able to be here and support me. But the biggest thing is, to tell you the truth, when I went back to New York after Valentine's Day, I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to. I remember last year, it was in January, I was cleaning the snow off my car, and she was from the window. She was taking a video of me. And before I left, I told her, I don't want to be in the snow no more. Like, if I'm going to be spending money and working my ass off to live somewhere, I want to be able to go outside all year round without, like, snow and 3 bundles of coats and boots. And that was my breaking point for living in New York at the moment. Not saying I'm not going to live back in New York or Jersey. I'm not saying that. But I was also ready to move on from my job. I was ready to take the next big step and believe in myself and do my own thing with Dream Fit. And she... While I was going through all that, when she was trying to tell me to quit my job when she got her job here, but then everything worked out the way it was supposed to. I ended up here, and she supported me. She's been supporting me. We lived upstairs, and we had a loft apartment. It was beautiful. We have a video, and we took.
It's not the best
video.
It's very glitchy because it was from Instagram TV, but I think I have a couple clips, and if I do, then you'll see that there'll be a video uploaded just so you guys can see the apartment upstairs. It had like, I don't know, 20-foot ceilings. It was very the ceiling
Yeah, it was
height
crazy.
made it seem like it was much bigger than it
Yeah.
actually was.
We had light come. I could put
Yeah.
a basketball rim in it and
Yeah,
shoot and not hit
yeah.
the ceiling.
Seriously.
And it was beautiful. But then I told her, look, I need like an office. I need like an.
Yeah.
We need 2 bedrooms because we only had one. And I said I need 2 bedrooms. I need my own space and privacy to train my clients and do my work and study. And I was going through my school, my holistic institute that I'm a part of, and I was studying for my certification. And we found another apartment in the same building, and they allowed us to move in with the same terms and price. And we came to a 2-bedroom. I think we will make a nice little vlog and show you this one next time.
No, we definitely will, because I think this is a really nice setup we have here. It's convenient for us, and his office. I mean, our office. Well, not ours. It's really his.
Our office.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, the office back in Mamaroneck was like our office, our bedroom, and our living room was all in the same space.
Yeah.
Like I can like jump from my bed to the couch and then climb on the computer chair and then make my way to the kitchen. Like it was just like it was almost like parkour I could have done in my apartment if I wanted to, because everything was so close that I could jump from one place to another. But now, you know, he has his own little space where it's like when you go in, you know it's an office space, and then when you leave that room, it's like work is done.
Yeah.
And I think
I only go in there for work. You know, it's the consciousness that's held in there is just like, you know, working and being creative, and then I'm able to come out here and relax. I couldn't do that in the apartment upstairs. And that's also where we do our
self-tapes. Like before, we used to do our self-tapes in the kitchen in our studio apartment, and now we do it in the office right here. So
I think it's really, really phenomenal. But the we're gonna end the video to say this: like, supporting each other in a relationship is very important. She does not own me. I always told Rhea, I don't own you. I'm here to help you grow and witness you grow, and not try to hold you back from growth. And I'm gonna support you towards your dream. And we made Love Across the Hudson to not only capture these moments of ours, but to inspire other people out there to see the importance of, if you dedicate yourself to somebody, supporting them, loving them, and encouraging them to chase their dream, you can see the dreams come true together. And I think we accomplished that so far together. I think we accomplished that.
I feel like we definitely accomplished it. I mean, I would say on my end, my dream, and from when we first started this channel to even before I got behind the camera talking to you guys, was that I always wanted to book a series regular role. And throughout the years, I'm now a series regular on one of probably the most historical TV shows of all time, Saved by the Bell. So it's like, it's just mind-blowing. Yeah, and it's cool, like, man. By the way, it drops November 25th. Hey, on Peacock, so make sure you get the app. Ooh, a little promotion right in there, okay? No, but it's crazy because, as you guys know, that I even cried in one of the videos that we made a while ago, where I was like, all I want to do is, like, act and be an actress, and I was, like, bawling my eyes out. And now to sit here, you know, living in Los Angeles, that I told myself I would never come to LA unless it has to do with acting, and that's exactly what I got. I ended up coming to LA because it was related to acting. So to be sitting here making this video, and almost an update video for you guys, and to see like what, like all that, the things that transpired in our lives, it's like every little moment meant something, and or not every little moment happened for a reason, you know, like the reasons why I had to support him, the reasons why he had to support me, is so that when we get to this point, we know how to navigate life from here. So
very true.
Definitely support your partner. You never know. Like, you hear stories about, like, yeah, you know, they've been together since they were, like, teenagers, and look, they have millions now, and people want that kind of love, but nobody really sees the work that goes in between that time, especially before you even make it. Yeah. So there was a lot of work.
And we knew in our imagination we were going to make it, and we knew these videos would be proof of our hard work before making it. You know, so
I mean, even
we
from
still
the way
got
we
so
talk
much more to
sometimes,
do, so much more to go. I'm 27 years old. She's 25.
Yeah.
So
don't tell people my age.
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't care. No, yes, it's like I mean, even from like the way we spoke about, and this is also like, just to throw it in, and this is why we want to create some more updated versions of some of our old YouTube videos, because we've grown mentally, and we have a different mindset. You know, as you get older, your mindset grows, and you have a different perspective on certain things. So we definitely want to update some of those videos for you guys. But I mean, 5 years and counting. Who knows what else is to come in stores for us? You know,
Imagine 10 years from now.
I know it's just crazy. So yeah, so for your
If
partner,
we can do it, you can do it too, man.
Yeah.
You can do it too. We hope you enjoyed this video.
Yeah.
Now listen, we're gonna ask you something. If you have, any comments, concerns, or any thoughts that went through your mind when you were watching this video, leave it below. It motivates us when we see feedback. Feedback is so important. It's like if you do something at your job and somebody gives you feedback, it encourages you to continue to do it. And your comments below and you liking the video and you subscribing are all feedbacks that we receive from making these type of videos, so I can pull her away from doing auditions, she can pull me away from doing work, and we can make time to make these videos for you. So if you haven't already, subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment below. And if you have any ideas or questions that you want, or what a future that you want to see in the future, just leave it below, and we'll make it for you.
So we hope, if you're at the end of this video, congratulations. We hope we motivated you. I know it's so long, but we just kind of wanted to give you guys an insight of the importance of really supporting your partner. So as soon as you end this video, make sure you turn and look at your partner and be like, yo, what we about to do? Because we about to make it, or something in that nature, because it'll happen if you just put in the work.
Yeah, that's true. Peace.